Being a married man has prepared me for this moment, admitting I was wrong. Now, not out of nowhere or having something my fault, even though I just literally woke up, but that's just how things go sometimes. And don't worry, this doesn't undo all the things we've been talking about with breathing exercises being one of the best complementary ways to enhance and put you in control of better breathing and sleep at night. But this is really about a way to really break through a lot of the limitations. So this is giving you a huge, huge piece that has been more apparent to me by the week as the weeks have gone on. And in case you're wondering, where have I been the last like 6, 7 weeks? Been working on something. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But for now, want to share a huge breakthrough for you that, yes, has to do a lot with being underwater, even though you don't have to be. And once you get this mechanism down, where you're able to reverse one of these huge contributors to poor breathing at night, usually this fast inhale or more irregular is a better way to put it. If we can reduce this, then your airway is more likely to stay open. Now, in doing so, again, like I said, this comes from the principles of free diving. And once you adapt it, you'll be feeling a lot better in the morning. And this has been really pivotal to so many people who have done very, very well with this. Now, the reason it's important to go over this is I know a lot of times the principles, they can feel very complicated. You got to know like air hunger and all this and subtract this, add that. And then a lot of times you just hit a wall, and that's when progress stops. Now, the only way to get through this is through. And that's when being able to have some more tools in your toolkit can be very, very, very effective. So I want to talk about this breathing breakthrough with you, what it is, and how to do it. And of course, this is for educational purposes only. Yes, this is a porpoise, but that's a meme, as a joke. But the real disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only. This is not medical advice. We're just talking about underlying mechanisms. Always talk to your doctor about what you're going to do here. So I'm giving it away in reverse order here, but let's just start with the whole premise of becoming one with CO2. So long, long ago, when I had sleep issues, I thought it'd be a great idea to get into free diving to somehow better train my breathing. Not the worst idea I've ever had, because you're about to benefit from that right here. I didn't follow through on the principles directly for myself, but showing this to other people, they've applied it under the correct guidance. They've been able to have some success. Just want to share it with you. So here, if you're not aware, free diving, you had to train things called static apneas, where effectively you have someone in the pool or whatever body of water this is to make sure you're not drowning as you hold your breath, to make sure how long you can hold your breath for. And when I first started to do this, every time I came up, my instructor would say, you still have plenty of oxygen. Your lips are not blue. And the reason I kept coming up for air is because I had really bad CO2 tolerance. My lips were still pink. And this CO2 tolerance, if you've been following along or maybe, reading elsewhere, this is one of the biggest things because when you have poor CO2 tolerance, this will cause you to overbreathe. And then also, one of the biggest, I guess, contributors of sleep apnea is this hyperventilation, which has been shown. Here's the paper I show like a bajillion times to cause episodes of apnea at night. And this same physiological principle is still the main theory of how that mechanically happens and how it happens. Yes, your anatomy is a little screwy wooey. The bigger problem is this causes a faster breathing pattern to then collapse those tissues. So we've talked about that ad nauseum. That's to the point of throwing up in Latin. And the goal is to slow it down. Now, how CO2 comes into the mix and how you want to consider things is that CO2 is what sets this breathing thermostat. When your body can't sense CO2 properly, your thermostat is all over the place. It is reactive. Okay. The AC's kicking on, the heater's kicking on, like not what you want. But when your CO2 tolerance is correct, you have a good, happy thermostat. It tells your brain to respond properly to changes in CO2 at night. You have steady, slow, controlled breathing at an unconscious level because that's all you got at night. And that allows you to keep your airway open here. And this all happens because you can properly handle CO2 with keeping your lips pink as opposed to going blue here. And being able to do this is really key to getting through the wall here and being able to get your body really comfortable with CO2 levels so you can reset that thermostat and make the big breakthrough. So how to do this, and this isn't all about maximum breath holds. This is about that relaxed pause, controlled pause. Um, there's many different names for it, but we're going to talk about how to do that, expand that, and again, educational purposes only. This is known as CO2 tables. This is not, don't write this down. This is just showing the thing. So how you train your breathing so that instead of being held up in a pool at pink lip level, you can get to blue lip level, which isn't the point of this. But if you are, I mean, I guess this is also applicable for free diving. Okay. The idea is you train how long you can hold your breath after an exhale, typically, and then you will decrease the amount of time you have off. So I like to think of it like this because when I would explain this to my wife, she was like, "Oh, it's like high intensity interval training, but for breath holding." Yeah, in a way it is, where you have a period where you're off, that's the blue, you're breathing, and then you're on, right? You're doing the intense part, you're holding your breath, and then off, on, off, on, off, on. Now, the nuance here, and I'll show you a lot of different nuances so you can apply this under direct supervision, right? Is that you have the breathing time where you're resting and that decreases. Okay. Because when you do this, it'll increase your CO2 tolerance and then lead to what we want. Where did I put that diagram? This here, right? Slower, steadier, airway open, good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, subscribe to the channel, always good stuff. Now, we could start with doing the relax pause. I think I'm going to skip that. We do that so much, but if you need to know how to do this, here's the chart. Basically, you time a comfortable breath hold, not a maximum breath hold, but a comfortable breath hold after an exhale. So it's a normal breath in, normal breath out. Hold that breath. First sign of feeling uncomfortable, breathe normally again. That is your breath hold time. Now, how this applies to the CO2 table is as follows. So you want to think of your breath hold time, relax pause, 14 seconds, which is pretty typical when people like maybe they first submit, we have like little progress forms like, hey, this is my relaxed pause time. And that's where we'll put that. We'll just use 14 as an example. You can use really any that would fit in here. The idea is you want to have two sets of rounds that are like 4 under and 2 under your relaxed pause time. So if you're at 14, you would do 5 rounds at 10, another 5 rounds at 12, 5 rounds at your relaxed pause time, and then 5 rounds above that. Make sense? Kind of go above and beyond that. That's just kind of like the baseline thing. So let's do another example. Say you're at 20. Then this would be 16 5 times, 18 5 times, 20, then 22. Okay, so if you're filling out this chart or like taking notes, that's what that would look like. And on the right is the rest. That's what this column is here. A little bit different than the column above. I'll explain that variation in a moment. But where you want to start is by having a pretty easy rest breathing period. This could be 30 seconds, it could be 40 seconds. Usually I just do 20. It keeps the exercise relatively short. This is at 11 minutes here. It would greatly expand if we did 30 seconds instead of 20. But you don't want to be like gasping for air. By the next time, you have to hold your breath. So you can adjust this for your needs. And this is like one of the best ways I've been finding for people who kind of hit a wall with their relaxed pause to really get it forward. A lot of people say they've been stuck like under 10, they get to 20, maybe they've been stuck at 20 for like months on end, 6 months on end. They get to 30, 35. And corresponding to that are big improvements in their sleep and their energy. So up to you to decide how real that correspondence is. Now, that's one way you can increase the intensity of this. Now, the other way is you could do it like the table that we saw above, where you have one time for the breath hold. Let's say, usually I like to go with the relaxed pause or maybe 2 or 4 above that on the breath hold side. And then you keep that constant, right? So let's say this is just 20 all the way through on the left here for the breath hold time. Then on the right, you would do what was done above here. The rest period starts a little higher. So maybe at 40 seconds, 60 seconds, and then it goes down by like 5 or 10 seconds every round. Just another way to do it, mix it up there. Different people will have different level of results. Play around, talk to your doctor about what is best for you on that. Now, it seems really simple, right? And that's the beauty in it. Because I know a lot of times when we're doing breathing exercises, it's like, oh, box, rectangle, etc. This has really been a way to simplify things, streamline it. I'm not saying the other exercises are not beneficial. They still are, and they work on other different parameters. But if you're stuck, or maybe you just like super objective things and just like to follow exact times and all that stuff, the CO2 tables are a great addition to someone's breathing routine. So you can consider that there. Now, for some other things to consider, well, I mean, really the big thing here is, well, there's three things. There's three things. Thank God I had this reminder. One is our free guide on this here. So I'll have some examples written out in there, if you want to kind of plug and chug that for yourself there, and just get an idea of how to use CO2 tables and incorporate it into your routine. Now, if you want to work on some other aspects, because like I said, the other breathing exercises will work on other components. But then also a lot of the myofunctional, like, how your tongue is doing, etc. The sleep apnea reset protocol workshop will also show you how to do that. And when you get, the free article there, I guess it's a guide. It's not really an article. It will also show you like, hey, you want to get the sleep apnea reset protocol, so you can always decide there. So to get it, all you gotta do, and then stick around, because then I can tell you like where the heck I've been for like 6 or 7 weeks here. How do you get these things again? It's been a while. Oh yeah, so you want the guide, click the title, it'll pop up in the description. There it is. There I am in, was I really pale or is that super blue lighting? Nonetheless, I look like a corpse there. Anyway, if you're at this point of the video, you're probably okay with this rambling. Anyway, click the link. You can find that there. It's pretty easy. And then to make it even easier, we got some links for you here. So to get the CO2 table guide, ochnow.com/CO2 table, reset protocol /reset. Pretty simple. Now, what do we got here? Where have we been? So we've been working a lot on a new way to help as many people as possible because, yes, we have a lot of videos out here, which is slowly actually becoming like a detriment. Like, I'm not sure if you ever gone to my channel, you'll see it's like 700 videos. That's a lot. That's a lot of videos. And I think the only thing you'll get by watching all of them is overwhelm and confusion on like where to start and what the heck is going on. Um, and it becomes difficult to make a lot of progress. Now, some of you do make progress, and that's great. But then also, I'll see you guys in the comments like, oh, things reverse, etc., because you didn't know the right steps to go into or didn't have some level of guidance. So, to make that a lot more accessible to as many people as possible, uh, we got some fun thing. I'll just show you the inside of the members area here. So this link is here. I'll just show you really quickly. Is this the tab? I think so. Here we go. So we got the Pecos Wellness Membership dashboard. So I can't. I'll try to figure out how to show you the cool menu here. But there's different levels, and I'll just briefly go over them. You can always click the link ochnow.com/program. Right? Yeah, program. Check it out. But it has different levels here depending on what level of guidance you want, so on and so forth. So at the plus level, we got all these fun things. We've got some quick start tools, some monthly masterclass, foundational module to really walk you through step by step, and a monthly group coaching call. That's in pro. You go, no, that's in plus. Sorry. Then in pro here, which apparently I'm not even a member of. You got monthly Q&A with me. You get a one-on-one health coaching session. Then you get some more advanced modules, and then premium all the way up here. A lot of more exclusive, customized things like VIP protocols, email support, and more Q&As. Because the pro is once a month, premium you get 3 more per month there. So that's what we've been cooking up here. So that's what we've been cooking up. I know it's like, wait, did that really? Yes, if you've ever set up a website, it is not the easiest thing to do. So if you want to learn more about that, including more of the details of all those things and pricing, go to ochnow.com/program. Whichever way you go, whether it's the program or the other two, you just rewind and see those. Really glad to be back here. Got all the work done on that. I mean, still got some more to go. Who doesn't, right? But excited to be here and helping you guys learn better so you can do better. So, Dylan Peckus and signing off.